What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're talking about marriages. This is actually a follow-up to our previous message. If you haven't heard it, go take a listen. It's on YouTube. It's the beginning of our series, Virtuous. We're talking about the role, the biblical role of a man within a marriage and the biblical role of a woman within a marriage. And last week, and I should say in the last message, we talked about women, right? The value of a virtuous woman. And at the end of that message, I said, hey, guess what? I'm giving you an assignment, okay? Much like I gave our people, much like I talked to my wife about, right? Much like I gave myself. I say, hey, listen, go and look up this verse. But don't just look up the verse, right? Go back to the Hebrew, right? The original language, and redefine this verse, right? What is the verse? The verse was, his heart doth safely trust in her. Proverbs 31:11. It says, the heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil, right? And I said, go back and look up the word heart, look up trust, and look up spoil. And then what I want you to do is go and ask your spouse or your soon-to-be spouse, do you trust me? Do you trust me? And not in a modern day sense, but in a biblical Hebrew interpretation of this verse sense. And I only got that because I remember my wife and all of the women in our local assembly, they have been trying to memorize this entire chapter, well, specifically from verses 10 to 31. And as they're doing that, I remember my wife was studying and she kind of asked me, she said, hey, husband, Sydney, babe, do you trust me? And at first I wanted to say, absolutely, I trust you, because in a modern day sense, absolutely, I know she's not going to go cheat on me. I know she's not going to go and do anything crazy with our kids. I can trust her with our finances. I can trust her to get things done. But at the end of the day, I was like, I hesitated because I said, I know she's reading that and I haven't really done a good, deep, concordance level study on what that verse meant. So I responded, yes, but it was a hesitation. And so I went back and I did the research and I came back. And if anybody knows my personality, that's what I am. I don't like to answer before I actually have thought through something. And so I went back, I studied, I came back and I called her. I said, baby, absolutely, I trust you. She was like, okay, I believed you when you told me the first time. But no, absolutely, I trust you, because I went deeper into the biblical articulation and kind of translation of what that meant. And so here we are today. I'm gonna share this with you guys, okay? So the heart, I had you look up three words: heart, trust, and spoil. The heart is 3820. It's translated lave, or it's pronounced lave, and it's used figuratively very widely for the feelings, the will, that's gonna be important, and even the intellect. Likewise, for the center of anything. So when it says the heart of her husband, they're saying the center of the husband. Okay, the center of the husband, the intellect of the husband, the will of the husband, everything belonging to that husband, right, doth safely what? Trust in his wife. And what does that word trust mean? It's 982, okay, in the Strong's Concordance, and it's batok. And properly, it means to hie for refuge. So the center of that man finds refuge in her. I'm like, man, this is getting deep as I was reading this and researching this. And figuratively, batok, or 982, trust, right, means to trust, be confident or sure, to be bold, to be secure in, right, to put confidence in. So the center of the man can put confidence in or find refuge in his wife. And then it has a comma, and then it goes on to say, so that. Okay, anytime there's a so that, you better listen up, right? Because there's a natural progression for when you do X, then Y happens, or Y and Z happens. And so that he shall have no need of spoil. Spoil is an interesting word because we don't use it as much anymore. But again, when you go back to the Hebrew, what you'll see, right, it's 7998, Shat La'al. It says it's prey or plunder. Prey or plunder. What is prey? What is plunder? These are violent words for saying this person goes out and kills something. It leaves the safety of their home, right, and goes out and kills. What prey by definition is an animal that is hunted or killed by another animal. These are vicious words. Plunder, steal goods from a place or a person, typically using force and in a time of war or civil disorder, like looting. Like this is going out and just leaving your home, going out to wreak havoc, going out to do something, and then ultimately taking something for your own pleasure. So when you look at this, what this verse really means, okay, follow me here, is the man at his core finds refuge in his wife. Do you trust me? She honors him. He is confident that when he shares his feelings with her, though they may be few, she will guard them and not use them against him in the future. He is sure that he can present thoughts and ideas to her, and she will support, protect, and nourish those ideas, and will not scold him for being lofty, unrealistic, foolish, and apt. He can securely trust her with his will and plans for the future, for the family. What does that mean? That means that when he brings his ideas, right, his structure, the vision for his family, where the trajectory on which he wants to take his family, he can present them to her, and she's going to support and align herself with the direction that he is promoting for his family. So that, here's the important part, he does not have to leave his house to kill or steal anything for his fulfillment, satisfaction, growth, acceptance, or curiosity. Read that again. So that he doesn't need to leave his house, his refuge, his comfort, where his safety is, where his covering is. He doesn't need to leave his wife to kill or steal, prey or plunder anything for his fulfillment, satisfaction, growth, acceptance, or curiosity. What is it saying? This is saying that the number one need for a man in a marriage, in a biblical marriage. Now, anti or non-biblical marriages, I can't really speak to that. I can't really help there. But a man, remember we're talking to King Lemuel. Lemuel is basically a type of men that belong to God. So any man that quote unquote belongs to God, his number one need is what? Honor, respect. Sex is important, absolutely. Okay, but his number one need is honor.